Hello guys, welcome back. Today I'm going to show you how to run the Mauldalorians led by Maul in the Krayt Dragon Raid. I believe this is the best faction after the Hot Cartel, or maybe even as good as the Hot Cartel. It's very easy to get a consistently maxed out score on any tier of the raid. And I'm going to show you two tiers. I'm going to show you the tier 4, which is the Relic 5 tier, and the tier 5, which is the Relic 7 tier. Each of them play out slightly differently. There is a little nuance in how you play it because the dragon is slower on tier 4, so you can do more stuff. But the overall idea is the same, and I strongly advise, if you just want to watch one of them, that you watch the second one, because I had more time to refine the strategy for the tier 5 strategy, and I think it's how it should be played, because I got to the end way before Enrage. It was a fantastic run and very consistent. I was able to reproduce that 3 times in a row. So yeah, let's jump into it, and we will start with tier 4, because I think that more people will have them at Relic 5 than they do at Relic 7. Although the general idea remains the same. So before we actually go into how we play it, the modding. Armor needs to be first. So she needs to have as much speed as she can. The rest is not relevant. So mod her to be super fast. Mine is at 370 speed. But on tier 4 you don't need to be this fast. The dragon has about 285 speed on this tier. So as long as you're above that, you're good. Then Maul should be modded for offense and speed, with health as well if possible. Health, why health? Because the damage that he deals through his stacks of anguish is based on how much health he has. So if you are higher, you're gonna deal more damage. And then Beskar Mando, we need speed and offense. Speed, why? Because he needs to go before the dragon as well. So he needs to be at least at 285, 286. So yeah, those three, the modding is not gonna change between this tier and the next. However, the last two, modding is different. Bo-Katan needs to have, for this one, she needs very high potency and speed. Why is that? Because you can be faster than the dragon, again 285 speed, and if you go before the dragon and use her basic, she can apply vulnerable for 110. What does it do? It makes all hits become a crit on the boss. So if she can get vulnerable on the dragon, every hit after that will crit, and that's gonna make a huge difference in your damage output, especially considering you can do it more than once during the run. And then Kandros, well, he assists all the time, he did a lot of damage, so a lot on offense. Just offense. Mine is at over 13k physical damage. So yeah, just go crazy on offense on him. Speed is not relevant, because he's gonna gain 10 meter whenever anyone damages a dragon. So yeah, just go all out on offense on him, and you should be good. Alright, so she goes first. Use the armor shred. She's gonna assist on herself, so that puts her to 3 stacks, and now she can give Beskar to anyone. And now here, when Maul goes, be careful, don't use this. You might be tempted to use that because you are at 4 stacks, and this gives you 2 back. But if you use that, you're gonna lose out on Frenzy, and then after you use the AoE, you will no longer have it, which means you won't be able to go take a turn again before the dragon moves. And you need to move before the dragon again. So here we're gonna go with 1 AoE, which is gonna start removing stacks on the bombs, which is good as well for us. Right, now Kandros goes. Here, don't use the AoE. If you AoE, Maul goes, and then he won't be able to go after those two, so just a basic. Then Bo-Katan goes, she's gonna basic as well. And here we got vulnerable. So, if you fail to apply vulnerable, which can happen, right, it can be resisted, no matter, even if you had all the potency in the world, you still have a chance to be resisted. If it gets resisted, just go out and try again. It's fine, it will take like 10 seconds to do that, so just leave and try again. You really need the vulnerable. And then Bam is gonna go, and here we go with the birds. So going with the birds, you might tell me, yeah, but if you are in the bird stance, then he's not gonna assist when Maul uses an ability. That is true, but that really gives us a much better tempo on the game, because we get the birds earlier on, which means we can use them again earlier on later down in the road in the run, and so it's better to actually go before the dragon with the birds. Even if, as you can see, we get no assist from Bam, so we technically lose out on his damage. But this way we get 20 birds very, very early into the run, and we can use them and refresh the cooldown much faster. As you can see, everyone is critting thanks to the vulnerable. That's gonna allow us to get 25% of the damage of the run, actually over 25%, before the dragon even moves. So very, very good. Now, we have a ton of debuffs that are bad on us, so next step is gonna be to get rid of them. But first, Beskar on Maul. Always give it to Maul, because it gives you 100% counter chance. If Maul counters, he's gonna be able to get 1 stack of anguish back, which is good. Alright, now Bam goes and uses the birds. So the birds are gonna deal 20 times damage here, plus 1 instead of damage on each of the bombs. As you can see, they are now down to 2, which means that now Kanjus can basic one of them, and blow it up to get rid of all the debuffs. And in this run, I actually missed out on the key mechanics that I only discovered afterwards, which is that if Maul blows those 2 bombs at the same time with 1 AoE, he goes all the way back to 5 stacks, because it counts as a kill. Only works with 2, if you just have 1 it doesn't work, but if you have 2 in this configuration, and no third one, then he's gonna go back to 5. But I didn't know that yet, so I'm gonna do without it, but in the second run I will definitely use that for very good results. So here I didn't know, so I just went for a basic to go back up to 4 stacks, and as you will see, even without using this strategy, which makes it a lot easier, I still got max damage. So yeah, it's very, very solid. So here at this point I'm trying to get Bam back, and whenever Mauldalorians, remember what I told you, whenever they deal damage, they apply Tenacity down. Tenacity down goes through Tenacity up, so despite the fact that he had Tenacity up, I still applied Tenacity down, which removed the Stacks of Defiance, and gave me Best Commando back. Very good, now he's back. Here I think I'm gonna go basic probably. And now with Maul, yeah, I really should go for all the hits, but yeah, I just went back to 5. He's gonna spit and burrow. But at least I kept the bomb to blow them up while he's burrowed, which is good because having 50% less damage, it's painfully slow to go all through all that protection up. So having some bombs to blow up is pretty nice. So here I'm getting a second armor shot on the dragon, as well as some damage. Basic, I'm trying to blow up another bomb. And here I'm gonna do 2 hits. So 4 stacks. Another one, 3 stacks. And then 1 AoE is gonna blow up the bomb and get me back to 5. There we go, now the dragon is back up. So just more basics from Kanjus. As you can see, he keeps taking turns. Against a lot of turn meter. Whenever someone with a dot is damaging against the meter, so it's very, very fast. And the second stacks of Beskar go to him. Again, because he can counter. And Katan got vulnerable here. So when they counter, it's not technically the end of his turn until all the counters are done. So they still get to crit. As you can see, everyone got a crit on him. And now it expires. So countering at this point is very valuable. There we go, we have 5 stacks and now we can use them. I went for all 5 of them here. All 5 of them. Get as much damage as I can because I'm getting closer and closer to the end range, and I still need to reach all the way to 1.2 million. Now 1 AoE, back to 2 stacks. I'm gonna replant with Kanjus, there we go. So 1 basic with Armorer. So the basic hits twice, so if you use it on the bombs, you can see you can remove 2 stacks at once, that's pretty nice. Now Bo-Katan is gonna basic, try to get vulnerable, and actually got it, but no one is gonna be able to use it. Unfortunately. Because he's about to take a turn and he's going to go away, so that was not very useful. Now I'm going to use the burst here, because he has 24 dots, and when the dots each trigger, that's going to put him to 20 stacks instantly, as seen here. And at this point I got lucky, she got exposed, and then the basic from the dragon puts her in yellow, which triggered 1 more bird gain for Bam, as well as a bonus turn. And 21 birds deals a lot more damage than 20 birds. It's a subtle difference, but really getting 21 deals a lot more damage. There we go. So all the birds were triggered very, very quickly, which was really nice. Now I'm gonna blow up a bomb with Kanjus. And I'm only gonna start getting back to 5 stacks. Basic here. Armor Shred. Third Armor Shred on the dragon, by the way. And we're at 800,000 out of 1.2 million, so 66% of the damage at 75% of the enrage. So it's not too bad. It's pretty decent. I'm gonna follow Bam again. Basic on him. Maul is gonna counter. And here we can apply Beskar to 3 toons in our team. It will not be the case on tier 5, but on tier 4 you can actually take enough turns with the armorer to put 3 stacks on 3 characters. Which makes them unkillable because they are immune to crits, so they're very, very tanky. Okay, so here comes the Ballista to get Bam back. There he is. I'm gonna put the immunity maybe? Or maybe basic. I went for immunity and Kanjus, I think, at this point. Which was really unnecessary. Probably could have gone for a basic because there's no way the dragon kills me. Especially with offense down on him. go, now he burrows. I just have to unburrow him and finish him off. Right as he hits and reach. So 1 stack on this one, so we're gonna go 1, 2. Then on the third one I will go up the charge and the offense up on the dragon, as well as all the debuffs on the team. Kendros is gonna basic this now. Bam is gonna blow it up. Basic, and here again, vulnerable, very useful because now Maul is actually gonna be able to make full use of it, as well as the mass assist from the armorer, and now we have 4 armor shreds, so the dragon effectively has 0% armor. All the hits we do are full damage. And there we go. And after the 5 hits, so he's enraged, but he's not gonna be able to do anything with it, because after the 5th hit is done, the dragon will be dead. That's 4, that's 5, then we have 1 AoE coming up. And there we go, that's finishing off the dragon for a max score on tier 4. Keep in mind the strategy was good, right? I mean, you can see the result. But the one on the next run is much better. A lot better, as you will see. So moving on to tier 5. Now before we actually do go through the strategy of the tier 5, I'd like to mention a couple very important things that justifies a switch in strategy. So on tier 5, the dragon is faster. He has 360 speed. So you cannot outspeed that with Bo-Katan. He also has much higher tenacity. So even if you could outspeed, you are not at all guaranteed to land vulnerable, let alone do it again later on in the run. So modding her for speed and potency is actually wasted on her because it's not consistent at all. So we're gonna completely forget about that, and instead we mod her with offense and protection. Offense because she assists every time Mauls take a turn, so at least she will do some damage. And protection because we will not have the time, unlike the previous one, to give her Beskar. And so, since she will not have Beskar, she will be rather squishy, so more protection will avoid her dying too early. And then for Kendros, we're going to mod him with some potency. We're gonna take damage away for more potency. Why? Because Beskar Mando is a hero unit. What's the link? Well, the thing is, hero unit actually take a little bit of every faction into themselves. Like he has double health and protection, I think that's from the Jawas. And then he has some synergy based on momentum. Now, on tier 5, you have 2 things that happen. One is for Mauldalorians. They get 20% damage back, so they can hit harder. Instead of having a 50% damage penalty, they only have a 30% damage penalty, which is pretty good. And then they have 30% damage reduction, so they can survive a bit longer. Okay, but there is something else for Tuscans that makes it so that whenever a dot is applied on an enemy, they gain a stack of momentum, and whenever they gain a stack of momentum, they gain max health, max protection, and turn meter, 5% turn meter. And despite the fact that he's definitely not a Tuscan, somehow he benefits from this bonus as well. This is not mentioned anywhere in the mechanics that he would, but he does. So he's a bit of a Tuscan, I suppose. And that's actually going to help us because Kendros on his basic applies dots twice. Well, once per basic, but he basics twice every time. And so potentially that's up to 10% turn meter for Bam every time Kendros attacks. And that's going to allow us to get Bam to go before the dragon on the first turn so that we can replicate again using the birds and then using the birds instantly. Now, to do that, he needs to land his dots. If he doesn't land them, then of course there is no turn meter gain and end of the story. So that's why he has a potency set with a potency cross and some potency secondaries. And even though if you look at his mods, he's only at 50-something% potency, his unique gives him another 90% based on the team he is. He gets 10% for each All Republic, so that's 1. Scoundrel, they stack, so that's 1, 2, 3. And Mauldalorian, that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's 90% more potency total for him. So he actually is at almost 150% potency, and that's enough to land the dots somewhat reliably and gain enough turn meter. Now with that being said, so we start, she's at 370 speed, so faster than the dragon who is at 360, remember. So she can go first, put the armor shred, and look at the turn meter of Bam. Right now he's missing like 20% maybe? Yeah, I would say about 20% turn meter. But after the first turn, he's getting close. Now we get 1 AoE from Maul, right? And now basic, and look at that, full turn meter. And so he gets to go before the dragon despite being much lower. Modding wise, I think he's at 294. So definitely slower than the Dragon, but yet, thanks to the thermometer gain from being the Tusken, I guess, he can use the burst before the Dragon moves. Now we're gonna use the birds. Now Maul does his 5 hits. So in the previous run, we were able to crit every time because of vulnerable. Here it's not the case. So we have a little less damage. But it's compensated, right? You compensate by having the 20% increased damage. So overall, the total damage is actually higher than the previous run, despite not critting. And look at that. Look at the turn meter on Bam. Remember, he used the birds, and then Maul, when Maul went the first time, he was at 0% turn meter, and look at that. He's already at 50%. Now here, we're gonna go with one basic. Why is the basic? Because 2 instances of damage, so 1 stack of bomb left. And now when he spits, Bo-Katan is going to be able to dispel it instantly by blowing up the bomb here. Like so. So just one basic from her on this, to get rid of the speed down and all the other debuffs on the team. And now the birds, they're going to deal damage to him. And once here, once here. And now we have 2 bombs at 1 stack. And that's going to be the core mechanic, guys. This is very important. This is the core mechanic of this run. Because if Maul blows both of them at the same time with 1 AoE, he goes all the way back to 5 stacks. As you will see. So here we give Beskar to him. And now here we go, it's gonna do 1-2 to refresh the cooldown of the AoE. And we're getting momentum. And now 1 AoE, look at that, he's at 0. They blow up, and boom, now he's at 5. That's how it works. If you blow up 2 bombs and there's only 2 bombs here, and they blow up at the same time from Maul damage, he goes all the way back to 5. And that's gonna allow us to keep going back to 5, roll down to 0, and go up back to 5 again. And that's how we get damage out very quickly and efficiently. Now I'm gonna Ballista to get Bam out, because I'd rather have him out than in. And yeah, and I'm gonna replant with her probably. Oh no, wait for a basic, okay. Yeah. Actually, if you replant with him, it's better. He's a hero unit, so when he replants, he benefits from the Hot Cartel bonus, which makes him reduce the cooldown of replanting by 20%. So if you can replant with him, it's better. There we go, now he spits on us, that's fine. Burrows. And here, I'm gonna do the basic with her. So this is all planned, it's not, I didn't know what I was doing. Every move is calculated, so you can replicate every move like this exactly and you will get the same result. So basic here, her basic deals damage twice, so minus 2 stacks. Kendra's basics here for 2 stacks as well. So 3 and 3. And now Maul goes, and actually all his hits are gonna go here. So you might be thinking, well, if I use my hits here, it doesn't do anything for my total damage, I'm losing out on damage. But actually, since you can go back to 5 easily by blowing up the bombs, it's okay. So you can do that. And that actually allows you to get the protection up, down, faster. Because the bombs don't actually do that much damage since you're not Hot Cartel. And so you need to use some hits on the dragon to get him out faster. So there we go, now we have 2 and 2. He's gonna AoE to bring it to 1 and 1. Priming them for Maul's next AoE, so that he can go back to 5 instantly. So 1 basic. Maul is gonna counter because he has Beskar, so he's up to 3 stacks already. The second basic doesn't give him a stack because it only works once per turn. So she's gonna basic. And another armor shred, and Maul is already up to 4. Now we can use the birds because he's about to unload 4 hits. I was thinking about using this, but it's actually not needed. She can survive. And now here we go. 1. Look at the birds. Look at the 10 meter of Bam as well. Keeps going up. 4. Now he's down to 0. 1 AoE. Boom, he's up to 5 again. Now here comes the only RNG part of this run. There's nothing you can do about this. He spits, and when he spits, he removes all the buffs on your team, and he puts buff immunity. And Mauldalorians, they do get a dispel on the strongest ally every turn, but it only happens at the end of the turn. And when he uses a move back to back, it actually counts as a single turn. So when he splits and you get buff immunity, well, he doesn't get dispelled instantly, and so the dragon here is free to hit whoever he wants. He can hit any of the 5. And unfortunately, Maul sometimes is on the menu. If he gets eaten, the run is over. You can get him back, but you will lose out so much time on your damage that you will just probably not get to 1.8 million. So if Maul gets hidden, I would advise you to retreat and try again. But it's only technically 20% out of happening. And here it didn't happen. He went for the armorer, so that was fine. And look at that, we're 1.3 million with only 69% of enrage. Ballista to the armorer back. And the dragon actually took his last turn right here. We're gonna be able to finish a run on tier 5 before the second barrow with more than 20% left until enrage. That is absolutely fantastic. I don't think any other team can currently do that. This is amazing. And I did it 3 times in a row. Won every time. It's super consistent. Look at that, 1.7 million. 1 AoE. 1 basic. 1 basic from BAM. And yeah, and that's it. 1.8 million with 20% left until enrage. This team is amazing. Strategy took me a while to figure out, but now that it's now that you have it, guys, just use that and you're gonna get a maxed out run every time. Just follow the modding, follow the strategy, make sure you blow up 2 bombs at 1 stack with Maul, and you're gonna get fantastic results because that's just how easy it is. So I hope that was helpful for you guys. Let me know if it worked with your team. I will be back soon with a video on the Tuscans. So thank you for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys soon.